What's up and welcome to episode 18. We are on our go home show and we are leading up to the next pay-per-view, which is the Great American Bash. By the way, you are listening to a new microphone that I have just purchased, which is called the Audio-Technica AT2020. Now I'm just testing this out for this episode, and I am also testing out a new capture card that I just purchased as well, which is the Elgato HD60. We are testing out these equipments, so hopefully it goes well. Hopefully you enjoy the levels and everything that's going on. I don't know about this Elgato though, but yes, we are 1 week away from the Great American Bash. We are building up tonight on what we are going to do for next week. So hope you enjoy it. Stay tuned for that, but it looks like for now we are going to build up our contracts for almost every superstar on our roster. They are all 2 weeks remaining, so we need to build them up before it all comes crumbling down on us, so we just got to try and do that for now. So let me just do all this first, and then we will continue on with the show. So let's start it off with Carlito, Chris Jericho, Christian, Edge, Eugene, Heidenreich, The Hurricane, JBL, Muhammad Hassan. I feel confident in this decision, so I'm going to give Randy Orton a 3-month contract. Rene Dupree, Rey Mysterio, Shelton Benjamin, and lucky last, Trish Stratus. Alright, so all of our contracts are pretty much up to 7 weeks and beyond, so hopefully we're all good. And now, let's get in to who's angry or upset or content. So here we go. We start off with Trish Stratus. She is upset because she has been losing for the last couple weeks. So I guess we're going to do something about it. Well, we'll see what happens. And Heidenreich is content. He has been losing as well. Oh man, we have to do something with him too. Jeez. Alright, we are checking Raw's ratings from last week and they got a 2-star. Wow. Look at this. I thought they were doing good, but apparently coming close to our pay-per-view, they are not doing so well. So SmackDown has done way better than what Raw did. We did a 2.5-star, which is really good. Although our start matches did not do as well as I hoped, but it was alright. It was alright. Look at the end match, the second last match. Now, before we head into our Great American Bash pay-per-view, we're going to check out our fan base, and we are currently on 4,680,000, and Raw is currently ahead with 5,300,000. Now, hopefully we can do better. Now, from our last pay-per-view, we did really good. We surpassed Raw for at least 3 or 4 weeks, but now I'm not really sure, but we hope to grab that top spot in fan support. Just one last update before we get into the show. What happened to this feud? I was doing so well. Last week, we had a one-on-one with manager, and apparently now it's a thumbs down. It was 2 thumbs up from when we last saw it. Now it's a thumbs down. What is going on? What has happened? We did not do nothing differently. But let's just get into our show tonight, and hopefully we can build up the Great American Bash. In our first match of the night, we see a one-on-one with manager. It is The Hurricane with his partner by his side, Eugene, also known as Special Powers, versus Sylvain Grenier with Rene Dupree in his corner. Now, thanks to a comment that was left last episode, right there on the screen, that is what's going to happen in our pay-per-view coming up. It is going to be a #1 contenders match, Special Powers versus La Resistance. Whoever wins that will go straight ahead to the next week on SmackDown, will be the #1 contenders for the WWE Tag Team Championships. In our second match of the night, we see Tori Wilson versus Trish Stratus with a manager, which is Heidenreich. Now, Trish Stratus and Heidenreich have been losing for the last couple weeks. What better than to put them both into a team and hopefully come out on top? In this one, we're going to do this. Now, I'm not really sure on what this actually does. Apparently, this builds hype to the rivalry, but it tells also that you have to build up to a match. Now, I don't know if that's a match on the same show or, you know, perhaps another one, but hopefully we're going to do this, and we're going to do it for Carlito and Shelton Benjamin because it's a thumbs down, so hopefully this builds up to a thumbs up. In our next match of the night, we see a tag team match. It is Christian and Ric Flair versus Rated RKO, Edge, and Randy Orton. Now, from last week, we saw Christian defeat Randy Orton, a future World Heavyweight Champion. Got pinned by Christian, which was a massive surprise, but his popularity did not go up. I was surprised when I just saw that. His popularity did not go up. It was at 60, and I thought it would have went to 62 or, you know, possibly higher, but it did not go up. But Ric Flair also had a feud with Edge last week, and that match was a hardcore match. And much like Christian, Ric Flair came out on top as well. So that was super surprising as well, as Edge and Orton are both World Champion contenders in the future, Ric Flair and Christian came out of nowhere and defeated them. So in this match we see a tag team match to try and settle the differences between those four. Now once again, stemming from what happened last week, we saw Chris Jericho lose to John Cena, but before that we saw John Cena lose to Chris Jericho. So in this one, it is time to determine who is the best. Going into the Great American Bash next week, there is no stipulation added to this as of yet, but wait until the pay-per-view and wait until the end of this video where I will break down most of the matches that I will showcase for next week. So don't miss that. And for this one, we are building up our pay-per-view. We're going to do a pay-per-view hype. And leading up to the Great American Bash, we see two feuds culminate against each other. So we see Rey Mysterio versus JBL with Shawn Michaels in his corner. Now Shawn Michaels is going up against Rey Mysterio at the Great American Bash, but we also see in our main event of the night, Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker with Rey Mysterio in his corner. Now Shawn Michaels and Rey Mysterio have already been booked into one match already, but it's going to be interesting because I don't know how the rules work. Now I don't know if manager actually means that they're still competing. In the game it does say that they're booked, but I don't know if it ruins their fatigue when I do that, but I guess we'll see what happens. So without further ado, let's get this show started. So, okay, press start, yes, and let's simulate most of the matches. We're going to watch some matches in highlight form, but I don't know how it's going to go down, so we're just going to try and play it by ear. So let's just start it off with this tag team match. I will go for, oh, not a tag team match, you know, manager. I will go for the Hurricane and Eugene. I believe they have the power. Oh, they didn't have enough power. Unfortunately, Low Resistance picked up the victory. Next match, we see a one-on-one with manager. I believe Trish Stratus obviously is going to win. By the way, that match is building up until next week, so hopefully all goes well. Now in this one, I'm going for Trish Stratus. I mean, she has everything in her corner. And she still lost! She still lost! Come on, man. What? Isn't you put two losers together and it becomes a you know, equal? Ah, that's just sad. I didn't want to play this stupid match. Whatever. At least Tori Wilson's popularity is going up, so maybe when her contract runs out next time, we'll trade her for somebody better. Next up, we see a tag team match. It is Randy Orton and Edge versus Ric Flair and Christian. This one's going to be interesting. I am going for the team of Rated RKO. I believe they can do it. Well, they have the popularity on their side. Yes, they do it. They did it. Next match, we see a one-on-one. It is Chris Jericho versus John Cena. And I believe this is one of the matches we're going to watch. Okay, stop right there. This is post-production. I've already done this. I'm talking right after the video has been done. Unfortunately, you already know what's happening. I already put it up from the start until now that this video has been suffering from lag or some kind of issue with the Elgato HD60 recording this video. So unfortunately, we did not get to watch any of these matches because of that delay. So it's annoying. But yes, John Cena won, Rey Mysterio won, and then we get to the main event. It is annoying, and I'm not going to use this software anymore. I'm not going to use this equipment. Even the microphone's a little bit terrible because I had to turn the volume up a little bit on the actual recording when I finish this. A little bit of trial and error, so you can't help it, but it is what it is. Rey Mysterio had a really, really awesome match with JBL. I mean, it was unbelievable. JBL got busted open, but in the end, Rey Mysterio won, and then it was up to Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker, where Rey Mysterio was in The Undertaker's spot, and during that match, it was pretty back and forwards, but in the end, The Undertaker won. All in all, disappointment. The show that we just finished, great show, but the production, I'm not doing this again. I'm going back to the old style. We're going to the websites now. And as you see there, in the middle, we see the Great American Bash being built up. On your left, you see Trish Stratus getting a new contract, a new deal. And on your right, you see a new deal for Cosro Davari. And we also got a little bit of a good rating for SmackDown, as you see there. 3 stars. But let's talk about the Great American Bash coming to you in a couple weeks, because I need to build up the pay-per-view and also edit and all that stuff. Let's get into the 3 main matches. First match, we see the United States title being put on the line as we see John Cena, your contender, versus Chris Jericho in a parking lot brawl. Now this one was decided by John Cena himself. John Cena wanted to get a stipulation that he would win. Now Chris Jericho has beaten John Cena in his hometown, and these two have been feuding for the last couple of months now. So it is pretty fitting to have Chris Jericho get into a parking lot brawl, one of John Cena's specialties. Also, we have, for the World Heavyweight title, we see the Undertaker defend his championship against JBL in none other than a Hell in a Cell match. That one has been built up from the beginning of SmackDown until now. This is going to be the end of the feud between JBL and the Undertaker, the most historic feud of SmackDown and perhaps the longest feud ever on a SmackDown roster. And we are not going to forget the Cruiserweight battle. We see Rey Mysterio versus Shawn Michaels. Cruiserweight Championship is on the line in an Iron Man match. So yes, we saw an Iron Man match at the Super SmackDown show. That was only a 10-minute one. But in this one, we are going all out. We are going 30 minutes. That's right, a 30-minute Iron Man match between these two. One man determined to be the new or the reigning Cruiserweight champion. So that is about it for what we are going to build up. I also mentioned during the show that Special Powers are going up against La Resistance to go for the #1 contendership for the Tag Team Championships that are held by Rated RKO. And I also mentioned that Carlito and Shelton Benjamin will also be continuing their feud at the Great American Bash. But I believe that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed this video. Unfortunately, this did not go as well as I planned. But make sure to leave a like down below, comment, and let me know on what you thought on how terrible this video was. And until next time, thanks for watching.
The name is DawnDayEvolution, the solution to the gaming community which is littered with pollution. The most electrifying man in all of entertainment. No, I'm not quoting The Rock, I'm just making a statement. I am educated, dedicated, never duplicated. If you stand in my way, you're about to be a minion. Say a life lesson is just to be on top. I live by my motto and just
defeat all odds.